welcome to the first episode of Mindset Matters in 2026. And I wish all my listeners a very happy and prosperous new year. I genuinely hope this year brings you more growth, clarity, and happiness in everything you do. A new year always feels special and powerful too. Fresh calendars, new planners, and new intentions. But let me ask you something even more powerful. What if 2026 doesn't change? Not because you lacked motivation, but because you didn't change the environment you live in every day. In the last few episodes, we spoke about discipline, about following the herd, and about winning every single day. And today, I want to talk about the invisible thread connecting all of them. That is your environment. Because no matter how disciplined you are, no matter how self aware you become, but if your environment remains the same, your results eventually return to your baseline. So, today, let's talk about how your surroundings quietly shape your mindset and how changing them can change the entire course of your year. So, let's get started. First, let's understand why your environment matters more than your willpower. We love believing that success is about willpower. It's like if you really want it, you will make it happen. But science tells us something else, something that makes us think differently. It tells willpower is limited, but the environment is constant. This one is really very powerful. Your willpower is limited, but the environment in which you are staying is constant. Let me explain this further. Instead of depending only on willpower, motivation, or self control, it's better and smarter to shape your environment so that the right actions become easier and the wrong actions become a little harder. Imagine if you're trying to eat healthy, but your house is full of junk food. Would you be able to follow your diet plan? Chances are you won't. Or suppose you're trying to focus while your phone is buzzing every 2 minutes, or trying to grow your business while you are surrounded by people who constantly doubt you, nags you, and make your effort feel small. It's like trying to fly a kite with a weak thread during a heavy storm. No matter how hard you try, you can't control it the way you want. Your environment is like the current of a river. You can swim against it for some time, but eventually it will decide your direction. And that's what happens with all of us. The bottom line is strong people don't depend on discipline alone. They build environment that make the right behavior happen automatically so that it helps them in achieving the result which they want and not create any kind of distraction. Let's understand the science of how the environment shapes our mindset. That is why we are focusing so much on the science behind it so that you understand how things work in the background. And that is why Mindset Matters is different from any other podcast. From a neuroscience perspective, this is fascinating. And we have to understand how our brain works. Our brain is constantly scanning our surroundings for different cues. It keeps asking, what's normal here? What's expected? What's safe for me? Psychologists call this contextual conditioning. Your behavior changes automatically based on where you are. That is your environment. You behave differently at a temple than at a party, differently at a library than at a cafe. Why does this happen? Same you, but just because the environment is different, we start behaving differently. That means your behavior, which is driven by your mindset, is not just an internal thing, it's context driven. To a great extent, your environment decides how long you'll be able to sustain this new habit or new year resolutions. This is why your habit is stick or fail. See, ultimately, you don't rise to the level of your goal, you fall to the level of your environment. And this one is really important for you to understand. Let's connect the dot a little further. Discipline feels a lot easier when the environment supports it. For example, during my silent retreat, it actually became easy for me to sit and meditate for 10 to 12 hours a day. But if you ask me to do the same thing at home now, honestly, it would feel almost impossible for me. Because there I got the kind of environment which was needed for me to actually meditate for 10 to 12 hours a day. But now I'm living outside that environment. That is why it is like almost impossible for me to sit and meditate for 10 to 12 hours. And that's when I realized something very important. Sometimes discipline is not just about willpower, it's about at what stage you are, where you are standing in your life. When the environment is right, even difficult things start feeling doable. But when the environment is against you, even small, simple things feel heavy. Think about it. If you're surrounded by people who are always distracted, scrolling, jumping from one thing to another, then staying focused automatically feels tough, right? When your environment is filled with constant comparison, their life is better. They bought a new car. They are ahead of me. Something very subtle happens. Without even realizing it, you stop living your own life. You start measuring your days, your success, and your happiness using someone else's scale of success and their life. And when that happens, every simple daily action begins to feel heavy. The work you are doing start feeling tiring and your progress feels slow. Not because you are lazy, but because you are chasing goals that were truly not yours. Not just flip the script and think about a different environment. Imagine being surrounded by people who value small, consistent actions, where effort is respected more than results, and progress is measured by growth, not comparison. In that kind of space, something shifts. You don't need external validation every day. You don't need big wins to feel successful. Here, winning becomes a daily experience, not a rare event, because your sense of satisfaction comes from your actions and following the process, not just from the outcomes. You start feeling content from within because deep down you know you showed up and you did the work which was needed. And when that happens, consistency no longer feels forced, it starts to feel natural. That's the real power of your environment. It doesn't just influence your behavior, it quietly shapes your habits, your mindset, and ultimately who you become in the process. I have seen this repeatedly in different life scenarios. A student who couldn't focus at home suddenly thrives in a library, who could focus more than 2 hours, 3 hours, just because he got the right and supportive environment. An employee who felt stuck suddenly grows after changing teams. Why does this happen? Probably he got a team who supports him in whatever he used to do, right? Someone trying to build a habit finally succeeds, not by motivation, but by rearranging their room. Small things. See, even simple changes matter. A phone outside the bedroom makes a huge difference. A book on the table, not the phone, makes another huge difference in your life. A reminder note on the wall. A peer group that talks about growth instead of gossip. A small environmental shift create massive identity shift over time. So, what you can do in 2026? Instead of asking, what goal should I set this year? You may ask, what environment do I need to build, whatever I'm trying to build in this new year? Here are 4 areas in your life which you can audit gently. Number 1, your physical environment. What do you see first in the morning? What's within your arm's reach whenever you are sitting on your study table or in your office desk? What all you can reach within your arm, right? Is my physical environment supporting me in reaching my goal or it creating some kind of hindrance? Take some action to align it to your goal. Number 2, your digital environment. Who are you following on social media? What are you consuming daily? Your daily screen time. Am I on the right track to fulfill my goal? Just reflect from the point of view of the digital environment and see what all minor thing you need to make change in your life to align it to your goal. And number 3, your social environment. Who leaves me feeling inspired after conversations? And who leave me emotionally exhausted or drained? Am I holding on to this friendship because it adds value or just because I'm afraid to let go? So these are the small questions which you can ask to yourself. And number 4, internal environment. And this one is amazing. You may think that this one doesn't matter, but from my own experience, this one makes a huge difference in your life. What kind of self-talk do you repeat in your mind? You don't need to overhaul everything. Just make one small shift in each area. Because when the environment changes, your behavior changes. And when behavior changes, your results change too. Even a small, consistent change in these 4 areas of your life can create a cascading effect, like on other areas which you are trying to build, or which is difficult for you to make change. Just make these small changes. One that quietly compounds and transforms your life over the year. So 2026 doesn't need dramatic resolutions. It needs intentional design. You may design your morning, design what you're consuming, your inputs, design your circle, whom do you want to socialize with, design your default settings too, like whatever you do on a day-to-day basis. Because when the environment is right, you don't need to force yourself every day. You don't have to push discipline. It just starts happening on its own. It feels less like a struggle and more like a natural flow. It's, if I have to use it metaphorically, it's like a breeze. You may not see it, but you can feel it quietly guiding you ahead. And that's how years change, not through bursts of motivation, but through quiet, consistent alignment, aligning your environment with your goal. Before we end this first episode of year 2026, I want all my listeners to reflect on what part of my environment is holding me back. What is one small change I can make in my life? What do I want to become? And what kind of environment supports that version of mine? Remember, you don't have to fight yourself in 2026 to achieve your resolutions. You just have to design your surrounding wisely, which supports your goals and the version which you want to become. And if today's conversation made you pause, even for a minute, ask yourself, am I blaming my willpower, my discipline, or my motivation? When what really needs changing is my environment. Because sometimes it's not that we are lazy, it's just that our surroundings are not supporting the life which you want. And the day you start designing your environment with intention, discipline stops feeling heavy and growth starts feeling natural. Thank you so much for tuning into Mindset Matters. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who may be struggling with habits. Maybe they don't need more motivation. Maybe they just need a better environment. And as always, keep listening, keep reflecting, and keep creating the spaces that helps you become your best version, your best self. Because your environment shapes your actions, and your actions decide your results. And your mindset truly matters. Thank you.